So today, we're gonna do things a little differently. We're gonna have a tall girly chit chat. So this is Sydney, my sister-in-law, and she is officially a tall girly. She is 5'9". And so in today's video, we're gonna talk about what we love about being tall, what we struggle with, and get into all the questions. But before we jump in, please subscribe to my channel and let's get into it. So Sydney, when did you hit your growth spurt?
It was probably around 9 or 10 years old. I think that's like around the time. I know it's kind of early, but you know, when you develop a little bit sooner as a woman, I think that's when I really started to hit that. So that's right before middle school almost. That's like 3rd or 4th grade.
Yeah.
I realized I was really tall because I was taller than all the boys in my class. I mean, I'm talking towering over those little suckers. But that's like when I first really started to realize it. What about you?
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. I must have been a late bloomer then. I hit my growth spurt like summer of sophomore year. I grew a foot and then I got braces and it was not cute. It was not pretty. But I also do remember just like towering over the guys in our high school, and it was just like, that's when I like didn't love being tall because I was like, there's no guys here. I'm just like awkwardly taller than them. And it wasn't until college whereas I really started to like and love being tall because I was like, oh yeah, I just went to high school with a bunch of short boys. Like,
Yep. I totally feel that.
yeah. So have you always liked being tall? Did you ever like hit a period where you just didn't like being tall?
Yeah, I feel that ever since middle school, I think that was like the biggest one. Middle school was an awkward time for me. I really hated being tall. You know, you had all those coaches that were like, oh, you should come out for basketball and do all these sports. And then in college, it was the same. They're like, oh, you should do rowing because you're really tall, or crew. Mm-hmm. And that's all good and dandy. But at the end of the day, like, I just wanted to feel normal. And I think it really solidified it for homecoming and prom? Prom, oh my gosh. I swear all of my girlfriends were getting asked to prom and homecoming, and I don't think anyone wanted to ask me because I was so much taller than them. Not by like a ton, but with heels. Us tall girls out there know we cannot wear heels without, I don't know, and not to say feeling bad about wearing heels, but they kind of, you know, it's a taboo thing. Like, you don't really want to wear heels because you're going to be taller than your mans. Anyways, finding a tall guy, that's a whole different discussion.
Yes, I know. I feel like it's really controversial as a tall girl. It's like you either love heels or you hate heels. I personally think flats are ugly. I think flats are super ugly. So I'm never gonna wear a flat. It will always be like a kitten heel, like at least something, because they're just so much cuter. But it really depends on who I'm with if I want to wear heels. Like with my boyfriend, he's obviously like 6'2", so I can wear heels. But when I'm with my friends that are shorter, I just feel like I stick out like a sore thumb. So it really kind of depends. It really depends on who I'm with when I decide to wear heels.
No, I definitely agree with that. One of my best friends is maybe like 5'4". My mom is 5'4". We're gonna give you that, Wendell. And I just feel that whenever I wear heels around them, I'm like a Sasquatch just walking next to them. I mean, people don't even think my mom is my own mother because she is so much shorter than I am. And my sister and I are both around the same height. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just, the towers everywhere almost.
I know sometimes when I'm like shopping or I'm out and about and I see a tall girly, I just want to be like, hello, like, come over, let's be friends. Just because it like normalizes being tall when you're just with someone who's tall. And I know like in high school, I had some short friends, but I had some tall friends. So that like helped me fit in during kind of an awkward phase in my life. But it makes such a difference when you have tall friends. You just feel more normal. You feel like you don't stick out as much.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you secretly love about being tall?
I feel like that's a hard question, but I do have to say being able to reach the top counter or the top shelves of restaurants and stores is kind of a plus.
Yes.
I've never had to worry about getting a ladder. I don't even think we have a ladder at our house. I mean, that's kind of the one plus. A lot of downsides though, I'd say, more than the plus sides. Another one though, for a positive about being tall is that most oh gosh, how do I even phrase this? Certain outfits and certain clothing does look good on really tall and like skinnier builds, I think. And I think it's all with tall girls. Like obviously we're gonna get into the clothing aspect of it, but some things do look really good and some things look really bad.
Yes.
So, but the things that look really good, that's where I try to keep all of my outfits in, and I just repeat or buy, repeat and buy.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, I think for me, I think one of the things I secretly love about being tall is like when I walk into a restaurant or I walk into like a store or like an event, especially if I'm wearing heels, like I just feel like people notice me, and it's like kind of a fun feeling. Like you just kind of have this presence just by being tall. Like you kind of command the attention a little bit. So that's something I kind of secretly, my ego kind of secretly likes. It's like people kind of turn their heads when you're super tall. But when it comes to the struggles of being tall, I know one of my biggest struggles is just finding clothes that are long enough. And that's honestly one of the reasons I started this YouTube channel, is because I've been in countless dressing rooms and just been so disappointed. You're so excited, you're trying on clothes, you try them on and they're never long enough. And so that struggle is, oh my gosh, it's so frustrating. So that's why I wanted to create this channel, to like let all my tall girlies out there know like what's actually tall girl approved, to, you know, remove the frustration, to save you time, money, energy, all of that. So I will say that's probably one of the biggest struggles, is just finding clothing that works for being a tall girly.
I'd have to agree so much with that, because being tall, but it's also like your proportions. So if you have a really long torso but shorter legs, shorter, of course, we're tall, right? So they're not actually short legs, but at the end of the day, you're trying to find jeans that fit your proportions. It's so difficult. I cannot tell you how many jeans they're all high waters. Honestly, growing up, my sister and I would share clothes and we would buy the baggiest jeans, because those were the ones that actually would give you a little bit more grippage. Like they would give you a little bit more length than the other skinny jeans, or what was more trendy, especially when we were growing up. Yes. Skinny jeans were the thing. And I think now it's evolved a little bit more, but yeah, jeans that feel good and just fit good and make you feel confident. Yes. Like, why is that so difficult to find for every single jean type? And
it's so true.
It's not even for just tall girls, it's for every girl. Like, why is it so difficult to find a jean that just fits you and you could be presented in a good light, I guess?
100%. It's like there's nothing better than putting on a pair of jeans or a dress or a skirt and just feeling so confident and unstoppable. Like, especially, you know, as a tall girl, it's just like when you can find a pair of jeans, you find a pair of slacks that actually fit, like that can make the biggest difference in the world. So I've reviewed a lot of jeans on this channel for my tall girlies out there. What is your favorite brand of jeans, being a tall girly?
Yes, I've thought about this so much, and in the last 3 or 4 years, it is Abercrombie. I didn't think I would say that 3 or 4 years ago, but Abercrombie has seriously been game-changing for us tall girlies. My sister can attest to that too. I know you really love Abercrombie jeans. They have upped the ante, and every single jean that I buy from them is a winner. And it's because they have the short, regular, and long selections when you buy the jeans, which is just amazing. Sometimes I can get away with the regular if I'm trying to go with not wearing like boots or something, but if I'm wearing heels, then the long cut is the best. I also love Sevens. If you haven't heard of the brand Seven, All for Mankind, I don't know, have you heard of that one?
No, I haven't.
Sevens are really good. They're kind of the booty booster jeans. They were famous for their boot cut, like flare kind of back in the day, but they've been coming around with like a bunch of other ones, and they're butter soft.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's my next video idea right there, my next YouTube video. Okay, awesome. I'll have to check them out. But I would have to agree, like Abercrombie, like the best. It's hard to describe. Like the fit of the jeans is so complimentary to us tall girlies. They have like the tall options, and it's just like they have different washes, different colors, and they've just nailed their jean game. They're so good at jeans specifically. And one thing I have to note is they always carry long sizes in store. That is huge. Like every time I walk into an Abercrombie, they always have long sizes available. So I can go in, try them on, and I don't have to go online to buy them. Like, that's one of the best things ever. So one of the things that I love to wear as a tall girly is blazers. I think blazers are so complimentary to us tall girlies because we have a little bit of a larger frame typically, and we just have more length to work with. I just feel like blazers hang very well. And for me especially, I have broad shoulders, and I just feel like a good blazer makes me feel so confident. I love wearing a blazer as a tall girly. Is there any piece of clothing that you like to wear as a tall girly?
Oh yeah. I do love a good blazer and slack ensemble.
Yes.
I do think it's very classy for the tall ladies. My favorite go-to tall girl outfit is a romper.
Yes.
I am obsessed with rompers. Well, I love specifically jean rompers that I think it's because I have a longer torso. I just think rompers are so complimentary. They can, with the frames as well, and they kind of are just the all-in-one for me, and also two pieces, like the set I'm currently wearing.
Yep.
Anything high-waisted is what I usually tend to gravitate towards, just because I think it breaks up the tallness. Two-piece sets make me feel like a gazelle because I kind of am able to keep the long-legged feeling, but I'm not, it's not overly dramatic because it cuts it up halfway through. So that's why something like this is my go-to. I will forever keep coming back to it.
Absolutely. I think high-waisted jeans, especially as a tall girl, is so complimentary. It's like really leaning into emphasizing the length of your legs is like so stylish, such a good move. And it just like high-waisted is such a complimentary style for any body type. It just like snatches in your waist. It like gives you that like really tight look. So I really love wearing high-waisted, pants, slacks, whatever they are. It's really complimentary to a tall frame.
Especially if you're trying to get the illusion of having curves. That's what I was thinking with the high-waisted jeans. When those became trending, I was so excited because I'm very straight. So it gives you a little bit of something to work with because you're emphasizing your waistline.
That's a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about next, which was body types. I would consider myself more of like an inverted triangle. I have very broad shoulders and I have more of like a narrow waist. And so like finding pieces of clothes to really complement my body type and just kind of leaning into the broad shoulders, leaning into the narrow waist. I will say it's taken me a while to really accept my body type for what it is. Like, I would say honestly, a couple years ago. It took me like until a couple years ago to really lean into my athletic build, and it's so silly. So I remember seeing this TikToker, it's so silly, but her name is Amanda McCants. She's hilarious, but she's like super sexy, super beautiful, but she has pretty narrow hips, and it just like kind of made me accept my narrow hips and accept my body type, because I remember growing up and like seeing all the magazines with all like the beautiful models, and they had hourglass figures. They were super curvy, and I just remember feeling like, ugh, like I'm not that. That is not what I have to work with. So just like accepting your body type can take a lot of time. But I was gonna say, what would you consider your body type?
My body type is technically an eggplant. I would say it's like the inverted triangle, like the sort of similar to yours. Sorry, the other way you said, no, you're an inverted triangle.
Yeah, broad shoulders and then narrow at the waist.
Okay, yeah. So if I had a larger bust, I would be considered the hourglass, I guess, because my hips are larger than my chest and like my shoulders, I guess.
Yeah, so we'd basically be opposite.
We would be opposite, yeah. But I don't have that going on up top, so I am an eggplant. And I have accepted the eggplant because I've been able to find ways to make it work. Like up top, you can always use those boom buzz girls. But when it comes to jeans, that is hard because my waist is quite small compared to my hip size. And, that's always hard too, because if I don't have a backside either. You're working with a lot of things. But yeah, it did take me a while, especially. But I have to say, growing up, I was super athletic build, like no curves whatsoever. And that was really hard for me. And I would try to wear what my friends would wear, and it just was not cute. It was, I also think one more thing, going back to the, like, what looks good on our body types, I have to say dresses.
Yes.
Because they kind of hide where you're trying to, you know, I guess make the waist. It's always about the waistline with tall girls, I think.
Always.
Because you're trying to accentuate places that you might not be able to with the curves that you're lacking, unfortunately. Some tall girls have curves, so you know what? Shout out to those girls, because you've got that perfect hourglass body. Honestly, my best friend Katie, banging bod.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. I remember in college, like the bodycon dress, that was like the thing to wear when you were going out, and like all of my sorority sisters were wearing these like sexy bodycon dresses, and I would put it on and I'd be like, this does not, why don't I look like them? Like I just did not look good. I didn't feel confident. So I think I would just like opt for like a tight skirt and kind of more of like a flowy top to take attention away from like the fact that I didn't have an hourglass. So I just remember just being so upset and just kind of feeling like insecure about my body type just because of, you know, what was trendy at the time. I feel like now there's a lot more options, especially if you're going out, but I definitely remember just like not dressing for my body type and not just feeling confident. If you're a tall girly and you have more of an athletic build, yes, technically you can't grow hips. You have more of a straight up and down build, but from the side, you can grow your glutes and your thighs. So therefore, kind of creating the illusion that you have an hourglass. So this is something I figured out a couple years ago. If I just did a bunch of squats, a bunch of hip dips, and like glute exercises, you can kind of bulk up down there. So it creates a little bit more of illusion like you have an hourglass. So it is possible to kind of get creative when it comes to changing your body type based on how much muscle you put on. So now moving on to some juicier questions. Would you ever date a short king?
Gosh, I need to be very strategic in how I answer this. I am not physically attracted to the short kings. However, they are amazing, and I will definitely say there are some short kings out there that I am secretly obsessed with. However, I have already a husband, so I am not at liberty to say because I love my husband and he is very tall, so what about you?
That's just one of those things, like, I don't think I could. Again, like, the short kings, like, yes, more power to them. They can be very attractive.
Totally.
But for me, I want to feel small. I want to feel feminine. So I don't think I would ever date anyone shorter than me. I might consider someone the same height, but ideally taller. It just comes down to like an attraction thing. I just like having a guy that's a little bit taller than me. Well, I hope you guys like this kind of different style of video. I wanted to create a video just talking about some deeper stuff, you know, beyond just fashion, beyond just tall girl clothing, and just talk about what we love about being tall, what we struggle with, and just really accepting our height and accepting our bodies the way they are. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.